Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 8 of the JAWA podcast. I am...
Hello. Oh, it won't stop. Oh.
God damn it, Link! Well...
I had to pull the power.
well, lights out in the studio.
Yeah.
Power surge. Anyway, I am joined here by Link and Nightwing.
Hello.
Hello.
And this is the Season 3 season finale. And Xantos was supposed to be here, but he cannot be here today because he is on LOA.
Because he sucks.
Or that too, whichever explanation you want to take.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm feeling an AFK coming on now, I must say.
oh no.
Oh,
Might be
we are
10
back.
minutes.
Well, fast forward 5 hours later.
And we're back.
And we're back. Yeah. Anyway, Link, you how does it feel to become leader again? Like, was it easy for you to get back into things, or was it a bit difficult this time?
Well, Diab, the truth is, it was very difficult.
Oh no.
Nightwing got me in a room and said, here's the deal. Things are tough. That list you gave me from last year, it's running dry. I need new ideas. We need you back, bro. And here I am.
This
Can I
explains a
just,
lot.
can I just say, Nightwing, that avatar is absolutely hilariously freaky.
It is beautiful.
Sadly, nobody on here will be able to see it, but I will probably just post a picture of
Please
it.
do.
I will. Everyone can see how fabulous Nightwing is today.
I'm always
Excuse me.
fabulous.
And Nightwing, there was a time, I don't know when exactly it was, but there was a time that you, and I know you want everyone to forget this, but I've never forgotten, but there was a time you wanted to step down as leader, and you wanted to throw it back at Link. And Link, and then Link, you told me Link at the time said, all right, but in the end he said, no, I'm not doing it.
It would have
was
worked as
joking.
well.
So after that, you had a plan to someone to replace you, and you were going to take maybe a few months or so to decide, but you ultimately chose someone as a co-leader. So how did it come about choosing Xantos as being the co-leader?
Well, originally, I wanted to step down because, obviously, leadership isn't all that Link promised it would be. No,
It is.
yeah, of course.
It's sunshine and rainbows. It might be painted on like a piece of cardboard, but you know.
Yeah. I sort of, obviously, just things happened and it wasn't as easy as it was meant to be in terms of what I expected. And I just was doing things in real life that just got in the way, and I just said to Link, you've got to take it back now. He said yes, and I said okay, and I posted, and Link said, well, actually, I've changed my mind, and then I looked like a fool to the whole clan, so I deleted the post and said never
Sunshine
mind.
and rainbows.
It was I didn't really plan anything. All I said was I'll either choose a replacement or I'll choose a co-leader. I was pretty unsure whether I was going to stay or not, and then about a few days later I realised I actually wanted to stay. But then I wasn't really going to choose anyone else. I was going to leave it, but then Zan became councillor and got he was sort of doing a lot for the clan at the time, and that sort of made me want to sort of bring him on board just so that I would have at least some moments to myself, which didn't really happen anyway. But no, it was I think at the time he was the right choice, and I didn't really see anyone else as the right choice. Not that they wouldn't have done a good job, just to be able to work with me well enough. Because co-leaderships very rarely work out, and I don't actually believe in them. But for some reason, it works with me, Link, and Zan.
Well, you have to believe in them now.
Well, with these two,
Yeah.
maybe, but
That's
And-
right, pals.
And what and what was Zan's reaction when you asked him to be co-leader with you?
I think it was similar to what mine was when Link asked me, although I think I think Zan was a little bit more. I think he knew a little bit more that I was going to ask him because I kind of made it obvious. I was sort of prepping him for leadership before I even asked him. So I'd say maybe a little bit of time. He took a bit of time to think about it, but I don't know. I imagine now his thoughts on it have changed to a point where he realizes what leadership is to what he had an idea of it being when he was a councillor.
Basically, you're doing what Link did to you. You're grooming him.
I was, yeah.
Though
Drop
I
no,
think
no.
it.
though I think Link spent more time grooming you than you groomed Zan.
Ah.
Well,
Ah.
yeah, but Zan had the experience of being in the clan, whereas I was pretty much there for like 2 weeks before Link chose me.
Welcome to the council.
Can I
Now
say he
you're
donated?
leader.
3 months, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I want to I want to get into something that you posted earlier today. It was your leader's thoughts topic, Nightwing. What was the point of posting that?
For the past week or so, I've just been obviously I've been very much into JAWA recently. Well, people have been like taking time for their own lives, and because I've not got one at the moment, I've sort of been looking more into JAWA, and I've just been noticing things again that I would usually notice when I was doing a lot anyway. But I just wanted to bring up a few different things like JAWA Central, the clubs we've removed and changed. Obviously, the Pearl and Kang is stepping down in a few months, or in a month. And I just wanted to make some notes on that, sort of say it to the clan rather than just leaving it, because I don't really like speaking a lot, but I thought these needed someone to actually say something about it. And I think like server activity and of course the October birthday is sort of very important, and I just wanted to say it so people knew we was actually taking notice and we wasn't just ignoring the issues that the clan is facing at the moment.
And you were inside the topic. You were talking about how you might be changing a bit how like council members the roles that they have in it.
Yeah, we've been trying to sort of make them a little bit more concise, or at least I have. Usually I like to select about 3 roles for each councillor, but I think the clan has just been growing so big at the moment that we're requiring either more councillors or more jobs per councillor. So we're like cutting some inactive things out and we're adapting certain things, like the JAWA Knights is now a 1-man role, and we can basically select any members from the clan. And I think that's a lot easier or more efficient to manage than an entire club, because you don't have the obligations that are there. And some other things as well, which are not released yet. So, but it's just about making it a lot more efficient for the councillors and making it so that they actually can spend a lot more time on the server, as well as actually doing the work on the forums and behind the scenes, really.
And with the with both Pro and Kongi stepping down, isn't that about like 6 jobs that are no longer being worked on?
It would have been, but because of the jobs that we've been changing and are going to change, it won't be as much of an impact in terms of the roles, because we'll be able to either dish them to other councillors or give them a new councillor.
So
So it's They've both given notice, so we've got the time to make it sort of happen. And I'll pick up any slack what happens from there anyway. So I'll probably take over the post until we get a post member or something. But other than that, it's not going to affect us in terms of the jobs being done because one of us will do it anyway. But yeah, it's just about making things a lot more efficient for the councillors.
So that's why you're probably only going to be looking for one new council member, because you're able to lighten the impact of the damage that they will pretty much, like the chaos that they'll bring with all the jobs like no longer being worked on.
Yeah, I say one new council member because I usually say one new council member. It just depends whether we need two or more. Right now, I can't imagine needing more than one, just because we've cut a few jobs down, so they're not as demanding as they used to be. But it's sad to say you can never really predict a council election because something might come up that we just realise, oh, we might need an extra person here.
And I'm reading the topic right now of like you're saying, like applying for council, this should be done for the right reasons, and it looks like it's like there's a lot more expectations this time, that for somebody who needs to apply, like they need to think really hard on applying this time.
I would hope everyone thought.
I know, but it looks like
about it.
But it looks like with all these changes, it looks like, I don't know how I'm just looking at it. It looks like it's a bigger deal than now.
What I don't want people to do is underestimate being a counsellor. It's the jobs are easy enough to manage as long as you're good at managing your life, basically, and managing how you spend your time during the day. But the biggest things that I see a lot of counsellors struggling with, which I struggled with as well for a long time, and I still do a little bit, is the things like the pressure a counsellor has. It's like you go on the server and members either talk to you or want you to do things, and it's a lot of pressure for people, especially when they've maybe just finished work and coming onto the server for a bit of fun. And if you want it, then it's rewarding in that way. You get to help others, you get to do the jobs and actually make a good contribution. But it's you need to be able to cope with all that. I mean, we've been giving a lot of people breaks.
What Nightwing says pretty much nailed it. I mean, apart from that, if you enjoy the actual jobs themselves, like if you making clan matches before, for example, and then you become on the council, and then you can become the clan match organizer. That's an easy role to do because you enjoy it. It's not a chore anymore.
Yeah.
Why, Jaden?
And I'm looking down the upcoming things, and we're gonna have another clan meeting.
The clan meeting, yeah, there's one due, but because of events that we've been having, I've kind of put it off. Because of the surveys give us a lot of feedback anyway. But we're going to be having a clan meeting soon. I'll probably end up hosting it, I don't know. But we will be having one soon. Maybe November, but don't hold me to that because I'll have to organise it so it fits in with everything else.
And then there's the clan meet and greet. Is this going to be on TeamSpeak, or is this going to be a top the server type of one like what Uni did?
I want it to be a server one.
All right.
But usually we do both. But it'll be probably a server one.
All right.
Just because I think it's easier for people to talk on the server than it is for TeamSpeak usually, especially if they don't like going on there. But I guess they can still use type. It just depends. We've got a steady server now, so I don't see why we can't use the server.
The good old server. We've been through a lot on that lately. And of course we have our clan birthday, which is next month.
Yeah.
Big 1-0.
And of course I'm sure everybody's looking forward to how flashy the entrance is going to be of all the leaders.
The Rocky theme.
I,
Running
remember,
up the stairs.
I still remember when Link wanted like pyrotechnics and everything. And I remember we failed so hard on it that year that he got pissed at us.
Then I tried it next year with the jetpack, and I was floating in, and no one was looking. And I just kept saying, "Guys, look!"
And
And
everyone's
I
like, "Ooh,
forget
look,
it.
a tree."
The successful one though was when I was given my first one, my first birthday, and you just like came in through the shutters of the council room and in JAWA Temple. That was a successful one, I think.
Quick entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think by that moment, all eyes turned to Link and not you.
Yeah, and I was in mid speech, I think, as well.
Link overshadowed you.
Bursting through the window.
Story of my life.
Uh, and who's going to be giving the speech this year?
Me.
You.
Well, actually,
See,
I don't know.
haven't
We'll have to
spoke about that.
we'll have to
It's
discuss
me.
that. I'm hoping everyone will give a bit of a speech, but we'll see. We'll surprise you.
I think that JAWA's birthday is the only event that I'm usually like active the most. It's usually there. It's usually like October and December. I think I'm on more than anything because it's the birthday and then it's winter, and I think I should just be on for the winter maps. I don't know.
I love the winter.
Yeah, can't wait for December.
What I will say is I've already made a plan of what's going to be happening. Still a few changes probably will happen, but it's looking bigger than last year, which is quite exciting, I think.
Promotion
Especially
lottery.
Yeah, especially for people who have work and can't always make it. This year should be a bit better for them.
All right, I want to move on from this and let's talk about something a bit more serious. And this has been going on in JAWA for probably since its beginning, and Link has been a part of many of it, I know. And I've been a part of some myself, and I'm sure you have as well, Nightwing, as your 2 years as leader. All the drama that goes on in JAWA, and usually you let the council members take care of it and try to deal with it, or you let the members try to fix it themselves. But there comes a time that when the leadership needs to step in and tell everybody to stop. What were some times that there was drama going on that got to the point that you needed to step in and say stop?
Ooh, I remember. Does anyone else remember Bloodbear? That whole
yes,
thing
I
about
remember.
3-4 years ago.
Yeah, I remember Bloodbear.
That was
Nope.
the biggest. It was the biggest thread I have ever seen about how much he dislikes us and thinks we're wrong. I read it all actually.
And that was actually sad because I remember both you and I helped him like improve on the server and like dueling and everything, and then he just turned into this like different person.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's like he might have. I don't even know where he is now, but I'm sure it's all like water under the bridge now. But
Yeah.
at the time, it was crazy. I don't know. It was just like overnight sort of thing.
And Nightwing, was there like any particular moment, any particular drama moment that you had to step in and just stop?
I don't like the drama. Earlier on, when I first became leader, there was a lot of drama in council. Obviously, you probably know because you was a councillor. A lot of sort of discussions turning into arguments, and it sort of got to the point where nothing was being done, or people were doing things that they shouldn't have been doing in terms of the discussion, which just goes too far. And that's one thing what we sort of tried to get rid of completely. To the point where now we basically people disagree, but they do it in a way that they compromise and they come to a conclusion without actually causing issues between each other. and I think that's something that's changed a lot from before my time to now, because we don't have any of that now in council, and if there is, it's stopped immediately. I don't cope with that well.
And a drama-free council is a healthier council, and people get burnt out less.
Hopefully.
I would know that too, because all the drama that accumulated in the council for my 2 years caught up to me, and I had to step down. I just couldn't take it anymore. I lost every, like, I could still go, but I felt like I would just like doing half of like 50%, like getting 50% of what I can give, and I felt like I just can't do that.
Yeah. I think the problem with drama is whether it's in council or between clan members or between JAWA and others, is it just makes people not want to be there. And I think the quicker we can resolve the drama, because drama's bound to happen in a clan like this, but the quicker we can resolve it, the quicker everyone can just move on and enjoy the rest of what JAWA offers, really.
And I want to branch out into this, because there's because there's basically, like, I guess you can say there's like public drama that everybody can see, and then there's this drama, other type of drama that nobody else knows but select few people, and especially maybe like a council member that notifies the leadership, and it's like a shadow drama that goes on behind the scenes, and nobody knows what's going on between members and like leadership and everything. I've like Link, have you ever, like, how much of that have you experienced?
Are we talking about more of, like, behind the scenes, like the council?
No, not like that. Like, like, am I allowed to bring up the incident that happened like years ago?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like with you and Pro, like that was probably the shadow drama that was going on, but then it got forcibly put out into the public by a council member, which we did not want back then. But it was like basically behind this, like we didn't want nobody to know this was going on. We wanted to try to settle it behind and just let it go away.
Yeah, young and stupid Link.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that happens, it's pretty bad. Everyone's gonna make a fool out of themselves that's involved, especially me at the time. That was quite fun. It was quite bad actually, but luckily that's all moved on now. But it is quite a common thing actually in the clan. Like, stuff like this happens, and then everyone's like, "Oh, what's happening?" And only a few people know about it. And then it comes out later on, and then just resurfaces everything, and it's just like an ongoing cycle, I guess.
Yeah.
And have you dealt with anything like that, Nightwing?
Yeah.
I know he has.
Yeah. The thing is, I think it's bound to happen if you have people who spend a lot of time together, spend too much time together, and then something happens and it all blows up. And then you try to keep it between yourself, but then someone mentions it to someone in passing, and then it sort of just spirals out of control from there, and people say things and rumors start, and from that usually it ends up in a big blowout with the clan involved. I've tried to keep things what I've been involved with private, just because the clan doesn't need to witness that sort of thing, especially if it's a personal drama between members. But it's all resolved, and I think, like I said before, the quicker you resolve it, for the better. It just works out in the end for the clan.
Yeah,
I won't go into detail.
I've actually been a part of some during my times at council that I think I've let Link know like about some things that happened. Like I remember back when we had a member, her name was Tessa, and she left for like unknown, like she didn't really give much reasons, and I basically thought that was weird because she was getting like into the clan, she was having fun, and all of a sudden she just ups and leaves and without giving explanation, and then you find out later on there was a member that was making her feel bad, so it became like my job to try to bring her back and try to fix, like try to like, have that member apologize to her and all that stuff. Like it's just small things like that as well.
Yeah.
And to me, fixing small things like that sometimes also makes a big difference in the clan.
Yeah. What I would say, is if you are experiencing something like that where a member and you are not getting along, or something's happening, even if it's personal, go to someone. I mean, you've got Zan, me, and Link, and if you can't speak to us three, go to a counsellor. And if you can't speak to a counsellor, go to someone who can speak to a counsellor. Just get someone knowing about it who can do something about it. Sit down and mediate between you. Because otherwise, if you can't sort it out between yourselves, it's going to fester and it's going to blow up in your face, and someone's going to end up leaving the clan or doing something stupid that they shouldn't do.
Or like if they just leave like an explanation, it kind of just like they're just kind of running away from the problem at the same time. They're not going to try to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hate that.
And I think it's better to try to solve the problem and stay than just up and leaving because you don't want to cause any drama or anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to talk to somebody, maybe vent it all out, and then maybe ask that person to talk to like you said, a council member or a leader, and then things could get done.
Yeah.
I can understand why some people might want to just leave and not like talk about it, cause any drama or whatever. But when some people do that and then just leave like a vague comment about why they might be leaving, and then leave, I don't get that. I really think that people should just. I know it might be hard in some cases, but just come forward and try your best to talk to someone, a friend or anyone, or just someone in the leadership in general, the council included. It's just, just get it out in the open.
And I think it's because some people are also intimidated by the council and the leadership that they find it hard to talk to you guys sometimes, which I know is something you guys want to try to fix the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is
sorry, go on.
No, you can go ahead.
All right, I was just going to say, like, the anonymous, like, feedback forms that we have, that they really are anonymous. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if people submit them, then they don't have to reveal who they are. They can just say, this problem exists in the clan, can you fix it, basically?
Yeah. I recently updated them as well, so pretty much as soon as you submit an anonymous report, they'll get emailed and we'll be able to, like, look at it. And they'll be completely private, completely confidential. And you can basically list in there as well if you don't want anyone specifically to know, or if you don't even want the council to know, because it goes to the leaders. So unless you want certain people not to know or to know, just let us know in there. Just make sure you bring it up.
Or of course, the other way, you could just either PM a council member, and sometimes a council member won't just bring it up to the entire council, they'll just bring it up straight to the leaders, because it might be something too serious, and that only the leaders should see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about Nightwing, like, in the past year or two, but, like during my time on my own, I saw a lot of very strange stuff. I saw a lot of things like going on that I would not expect to see happen on a game like this, and I had to deal with it in a very serious way. So stuff like that does happen, and I hope that people in those situations will come forward and we can deal with it as best we can, because there are ways of dealing with that, and they shouldn't feel scared. And, there is no real excuse for if people feel like there's no way of coming forward, because there's so many ways. We're really trying our best to get out there and just say, if you got a problem, please come and see us. Please submit anonymously. Here's some people that would be good to speak to. We got the mentors. We really are trying to reach the hand out here, and hopefully someone can benefit from that.
Yeah. And I wanna I guess this could be tied in with all the drama and everything, and the question is to both of you. Why do you think JAWA is disliked or hated by people or even groups in the Jedi Academy community? Like, why are we targeted so much?
It wouldn't be fun otherwise. if it was, I think no matter what we did, someone would hate us. I think, to be honest, we've got a pretty good track record in terms of likes and dislikes in the whole spectrum of things. No matter what we do, people are going to dislike us. I know a lot of people out there think that, oh, we're really bothering them guys, but genuinely, we're just sat here like with our eyes half open, going, okay, just another day. It's seriously,
It is
it's
just
not.
another day.
It really is. I mean, there's nothing we haven't seen. You know, people take it to the lengths where they might take the server down. That's fine. It happens every other day. I mean, it's even with Calum's protection. I mean, it does happen. I mean, I just don't. I personally, I don't get it. I don't want to pretend I get it. You know, there's some people out there that get enjoyment out of it. That's fine. You know, it's no concern at all. It's just the way it is. Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo. Some things never change, etc.
Yeah,
I
I've
can't
not got
sing.
much- I've not got much to add on to that really. It's just people just like to dislike things, and it happens, and we just move past it like we always do.
Do you
Yeah.
think some of it has to also do that they're jealous of our success of like staying alive this long?
I doubt they're jealous. I've always seen it as like a Borden thing, but I mean, I actually spoke one-on-one with people that are, you know, in these sorts of like groups that do this stuff, and they just say, you know, we're bored, it's fun, deal with it, and I'm like, well, that's fine.
So basically, they have too much time on their hands, so they just have nothing better to do but to disrupt somebody else's fun.
Mm.
Well, maybe, but at the end of the day, if they want to do that, that's fine. I mean,
It's just another day.
it really is. I mean, I don't remember the last time I was red-faced or angry at someone over the internet, or especially over Jedi Academy. And would like to just put the message out. You know, if someone's bothering you, just mention it to someone, and just don't be bothered. Who cares? It's just someone else. Whatever.
We've been through so much like DDoSes and everything. Whenever the server's down, it's usually whenever it gets DDoS, it's usually when I really want to come on. So I actually get mad at them, like, come on, you know.
Personal.
You know, it's like this is no longer like just another day. This is personal. Somebody doesn't want Diab playing on the server.
What's this? It's 6 p.m. in Hawaii. That's not happening.
but I've also gotten used to us being attacked so much. I mean, we've got 2 servers now, and if they just do one and they have to done the other, we just go top the other, you know.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
if both of them just go to allies, it's really nothing big, you know, big problem about that.
yeah, and if it happens, I just take the night off, enjoy a film or do something else. It just doesn't really bother you. After this amount of time of it happening, don't care. The clan will survive, and we'll have some other server to play on until it comes back up.
All right. Let's move on to the next part, and I want to ask you first, Link. What's the differences between the older generations of JAWA that you've seen compared to like today's newer generation of JAWA?
There isn't really much of a difference. I mean, back in the really old days, there was about 4 ranks, so people would be ranked up quite quickly. That's why we had to add quite a few new ranks or make the space between the ranks last a long time. That's the only main difference in the actual clan. In terms of the people, it's not really changed much. I know a few people think, oh, I miss the old JAWA, but it's just your JAWA in your head from that you remember it. It's just things change.
That's how I remember it as well. Like my JAWA, which was like 2009 when I joined, like the council to me was like the all-star council team back then.
Yeah, everyone thought like the council was like the bee's knees, and then the next person would come along 2 years later, and the council now is pretty good. And then 2 years later, it's just
Yeah, it continues to cycle.
Yeah.
And Nightwing, for your like short time here in JAWA, like
The old generation,
Yeah.
back in 2012.
yeah, 2014.
You're such a noob.
When I was a councillor.
Like, is there any like differences between these 2 years?
Like I said before, I think the council dynamic has changed a lot from my point of view, from what I saw when I first came here to now. I also think a lot in terms of the clans. I don't know, because, like you said, I didn't know what the clan was like back before my time, because I was never around for JAWA, even as a non-member. But I think for me, these past 2 years, a lot has changed just because I've seen it changed, and I've sort of been part of the discussions of change. So I've seen a lot of change, but I don't think JAWA in its fundamentals of what it is hasn't changed very much. It's still what it was like 2 years ago.
I mean, there is always going to be change in JAWA, but the change is always an improvement. But we
Well-
never stray off of what we're like all about though. We're just adding on to what we have.
That
If the
Rainbow
clan,
Room's kind of weird.
the Rainbow Room's brilliant. Don't ever
No.
say anything otherwise.
So strange.
That was my best creation ever.
Last time I went in there, it smelled of sweat.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, never mind.
TG.
Forgot this is recorded. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, I forgot.
Nightwing, ladies and gentlemen. The next subject I want to talk to you guys about is I guess I remember this has been like a problem even when I first joined. I remember Link didn't like it that I was doing this as well. And it was like I guess like people bundling up in groups and just socializing amongst himself. That kind of creates like I guess a disconnect between other members because you don't talk to them. You kind of just like throw them out. You just ignore them type of thing. You only talk amongst your own group of friends. Like is that still a problem in JAWA today?
Who first?
Any of you?
In my opinion, groups will always happen. In any sort of clan or guild or group or anything, people will tend to talk to certain people more than others because they just build a rapport with them. And I've done it myself. Obviously, the Rainbow Room used to be pretty much everyone who I used to talk to in the inner circle. But I kind of that just kind of ended in a way, and now I try my best to talk with others. And lately, the past year alone specifically, I've talked to a lot more people, more than I have before. And I think while the social groups are, I think they're vital for JAWA because you have close friends who you come and see. But I think as long as you're willing to get to know others and willing to let them inside your group, but obviously not make it a competitive thing because otherwise it would be pointless. But as long as everyone's doing it for the right reasons, for the friendliness of it and enjoyment of the clan, I don't see a bad thing with it, really. Yep.
Link?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a bit of a problem. I mean, people being in groups is fine. It's just when it gets to the point where you make decisions in groups, your opinion is formed based on what other people think in that group. I mean, as long as you've got your own opinion, I mean, it's not a problem. But it's just when it becomes a bit out of control. I mean, to the point where if your friend leaves, you have to leave. If your friend joins, you have to join. I mean, just do what you want. I mean, your friend doesn't have to always be with you. I mean, he can go and do other things. You can go and do other things. I mean, it's all common sense, really.
And I've been part of groups that kind of formed their opinion, and then it became like a toxic in that group. I think and Link, I think you know who I'm talking, the group I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And back then, I remember you used to be you were kind of upset with me being in the group with like Voltar and Bloodraven back then too. Like I remember you told me, you said go like talk with other people and everything. You don't need to socialize with them all the time. And I think I've tried ever since then to talk to more people.
I mean, it's just that thing. What I was trying to get across at the time, it wasn't just like you. It was just like everyone else that was sort of doing like the same thing. It was just like a lot of the new members at the time, especially, were just like coming into this big clan, and it was like, oh, like all these cool things, and then no one would really speak to them or say hello.
Because
and
all
it's
these
just-
small cliques around, you know.
Yeah, it was just like, it wasn't like a big thing where, oh, you're not joining our group or we're going to purposely ignore you. It was just sort of forgotten, really. I just wanted to like remind people that, because I was always like one of the people that would run over to new people and, try and make friends with them straight away and introduce them, like tell them about the clan. I haven't really been doing that much lately in that regard, but back then, I always tried to make a big effort to do that. And I was just trying to get other people to do the same, really.
Mm.
You always want to make everyone feel welcome.
I tried. Didn't always work.
Some people probably feel intimidated that the leader is welcoming them.
Welcome.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think as long as you're independent from them and you're not going to side with them just because they're your friend all the time, I think you just think for yourself and just enjoy the clan how you see fit, as long as it's within sort of what we stand for, I guess.
And now comes the question that I think even a lot of people probably ask themselves sometimes if it were to happen. If Jedi Academy were to like completely die out, like one day it finally does die out, is it the end for JAWA, or would it somehow continue on, like as a community or to like another game or something, or many games?
I've always been against it, and I think even if Jedi Academy just fizzled out, like over another 10 years, 20 years, whatever it is, I think we'll always still just be a Jedi Academy clan with a forum, which is probably going to be more active than the server down the line. At the moment, it's still pretty good, but I think in the long term, the game's going to become a second thing rather than the actual main event of the clan, I guess. I don't think we should ever really go to another game. I mean, if you're going to focus on one thing, sorry, if you're going to focus on something, you focus on one thing and make it good, rather than, just try and balance two and put effort into one, maybe not effort into the other, I feel like I've just always seen clans should just focus on one, but there are quite a lot of instances where it does work. I just not a fan of it myself.
I understand that like it becomes more work when trying to manage two games as well. It's almost like you need to have like another like console manage that game, but then it becomes like a even bigger disconnect if somebody is just playing that game and they have other people playing this game as well. It's kind of hard in that aspect. I remember being part of a clan back then in Jedi Academy. They were called RJK, but they weren't just in Jedi Academy. They were in many other games. So they had like over 500 members, and they had certain people managing each like game. And that and as amazing as that looked, it looked like a lot of work, and you can see that there were separate forms each one, so there was a major disconnect between every single members in each game.
For me personally, I don't plan on leading JAWA in any other game, or being a part of JAWA in any other game. For me, JAWA is Jedi Academy, and if the game does die completely, somehow the people who are managing like the new mods and everything just stop doing it, and we just lose it all completely. And if that happens, then I'll probably stick around on the forum, but I'm not gonna try and form JAWA into another game because I don't think it should happen at this time. My thoughts might change, but at the moment, I think we're a Jedi Academy clan, and if it is to end, why not go out in a good way rather than watching it sizzle onto other games and become something it wasn't originally meant to be.
Well,
yeah, I've always seen it as like a Frankenstein sort of thing where you're just trying to make it work as much as you can. And it just sort of ruins the whole thing it was built on, if you get what I mean. I mean, to be honest, I remember back in like 2009 when we tried having like a base server think it was Godlike was the guy who bought us a single player damages in J Plus server to go along with our main J Plus server with J Plus damages, and it was just two sets of people, one playing that and one playing the other, and it just completely distanced both groups of people that played different things from each other. It really wasn't good. I think even with games as well, different games, you just sort of like distance like the purpose and like the community from each other.
I think we've seen other clans go down that route and fail, which is sad to see, but it does happen, and I've seen it myself, not even in Jedi Academy. And I'd rather look back on JAWA knowing what it was and be happy about what we achieved rather than watching it go to another game and start to become something it wasn't. And that's just me personally. I've already seen one version of this game die anyway, so I'm not going anywhere until it properly dies. So
You saw it burn.
I saw it burn. Microsoft, you ships.
Oh, ruined the tone of the whole thing. Get the bleeper out.
But do you think even though Jedi Academy would die, do you think JAWA could still still stand as just like a community of people that just stick around, talk to each other on the forums and do things?
Yeah, we do that already.
I know.
So I don't.
So
yeah.
it's not really a problem if the game dies out. If we all still are here on the forums every day, the community's still alive.
I think it'll go a bit quieter in certain areas, like maybe like the Jedi Academy board might go a bit quiet, which already is, but I think other forums will benefit, and overall I think we'll be fine for a very, very long time.
I mean, sure, some people may leave, but there'll probably be a lot of people who stay just for the community.
Yeah, I think a lot of people come back as well. It's just come and going, and it's just a never-ending cycle of people coming and going from the past, and then new people. It just never ends.
Yeah, to add on from that, I think if the game does die, the forum itself would change, as a clan should. I think the forum would just become a forum community. We probably wouldn't have ranks because we wouldn't really need ranks. We'd just have forum moderators and members. That's how I would see it going. And I think I'd be happy to continue moderating the forums after Jedi Academy dies because it's fun.
It does sound fun. I used to actually go on like a similar forum where it was just the big thing was signature of the week.
The question is though, like, if it does become just a forum, will you start to pay me, Link?
Let me think.
I could really do with a job.
See, the donations pool's running a bit dry. There's not enough KFC coming in the house.
We wouldn't.
And we all know I give $20 every donation so Link can get KFC.
We wouldn't have to pay
10%.
for the servers though, so we would be able to pay for me to moderate it.
I'm not paying you for anything.
Oh god,
This is a free community.
Donate to Nightwing at Kickstarter.
No.
Nightwing's
What
retirement
is this
fund.
an email address? Sounds so dodgy. At kickstarter.freewebs.org.
Anyway, aside from Nightwing being paid, Link, you brought up saying like people come and go a lot of top of our forums, and I guess the same could be said about the clan. Like people join us and they leave and they come back often. What are your thoughts of people coming and going, like joining and leaving and rejoining?
I think it's absolutely fine as long as it's not constant. And I mean, it can happen where people come and go for like really good reasons. Where otherwise, I don't know. It's one of those where it really does depend on the reason why they've left.
And sometimes I feel the reason some people leave, they could just go on like LOAs. They don't actually have to leave the clan because it's fine. We won't remove you if there's an actual reason why you need to like go for a while.
It's if there's a good reason, like not just like going to play another game for a year.
Well, that's not a valid reason. If anything, just tell people you could play another game. It's gonna be no inactive. That's about it. It's not a leave of absence. And what are your thoughts on it, Nightwing?
Because I tend to be the one who has to do all the inactive removals and checks and everything. Usually, I see it a lot more where I've had to remove people and they've come back and then gone inactive again, and it makes it worse for everyone because they have to go through the inactive removal and I have to be the one to remove them, and it just feels a bit bad to have to do that. I think if you can't be active whatsoever, I think it's better to leave and come back when you can be, because if you're just gonna stay and do nothing, not even like contribute on the forums or play on the server or anything, then why be in the clan? Just come back when you can. That's really my take on it. The constant leaving and rejoining bugs me only when they do it out of stupidity. If it's done for good reasons, then I don't mind.
And I'm gonna tie this in with another subject, which is, do you think like when people leave on bad notes or they're removed on bad notes a lot, like we have a lot of people who caused a lot of like trouble in JAWA that they either were asked to leave peacefully or they got forcefully removed at times. Do you think there are people who like we give second chances a lot, but do you think there are people who deserve more than a second chance in JAWA?
No.
Link?
We give
Oh.
more chances than second chances, but if someone's gonna constantly ruin that sort of chance that we give them or continuously make bad judgments when we've tried to help them, then they should just try somewhere else.
Link.
I agree. There are instances where people just suddenly do change. I mean, I remember I've said it a few times now where Draggy was banned. I think it was 3 times before she joined the clan and became leader. So you never know. People do change and everything, but at the same time, when you're maybe in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and then you're doing really stupid things, and then you come back saying, "Oh, I've changed." I mean, they should be a bit more, they understand their own what they're doing more than perhaps maybe a teenager or a kid. So stuff like that, I'm usually don't have much sympathy.
And I know we've given people more than second chances back then too, and they've have like maybe a third chance, and they have shown us that they could change. But then there's just some people that I guess not even deserve a second chance from us because they've done some big, like some major damage to us as well.
Yeah. Anyone who's broken rules in a way that has affected the clan badly, I'll give them a chance, but after that, if they ruin it, I won't give them a chance again. I'm not having people come in the clan just to fall back into their old routine and start causing issues again.
Basically, repeat the same cycle again.
Yeah, we've seen it happen, and I'm not going to name names, but it's just not going to happen again. We've dealt with enough crap to go back and deal with it all again. We've give people chances and we've give people fair sort of chances for like polls and applications, and if it's not going to work out, it's not going to work out, and it's best everyone just go their own way.
And I think as time went on, I think we've become more I guess maybe the correct word would be protective of who we let in at times too, and who we let back in because of the things they've done.
Yeah.
Because we've been through so much, like I guess you can say, so much drama and stuff with people that we just don't want it anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. If I know someone's going to either cause issues or have caused issues, then I'll be hesitant to let them back in. And when they rejoin, if they rejoin, I'm gonna keep an eye on them, and just make sure that they're not gonna end up causing more trouble. And I think Link's probably the same. You have to keep an eye out for things that may happen because no one else is gonna do it.
And we're pretty much at the end here, and I want to ask both of you the final subject, and it is, if you could give any piece of advice to a current member JAWA, and as well as give advice to a new and future member JAWA, what would the advice be?
I'll go first. To current and older members, don't be afraid of change. To new members, try your best to not fit in, but to be unique and to do your very best with the clan. And to future members, don't be afraid to wait without applying to get to know the clan. Know the clan before you apply. Don't just apply straight away because you need to know what you're getting in for. That's all.
Probably my piece of advice, which I mentioned earlier, was basically just try and approach new people in the clan, especially new members, and just try to make new friends. It's sort of like the point behind JAWA. And if you find yourself bored, go and speak to someone else. You know, you never know. You might find a friend. You might find you're the person that keeps someone in the clan. You might find that you're the person that they go to talk about problems. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just good to do that, and you'll find that it's probably the funnest part of being in the clan. I know it's one of my favourite bits, for sure.
And I guess that's all we have for this episode. This is probably the longest episode of this season, but it's good for a season finale. I would like to thank both Link and Nightwing for joining me on here, and we'll be back for season 4 of the podcast, and I think around November we'll be taking about a month break off, so October will be a break. Thank you guys for watching. I just messed that up. This is live. Anyway,
Doing it live.
Damn it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. In the outro, we'll be having all the past episodes in it. If you guys haven't watched all of them yet, you can watch it all there. And we'll see you guys in season 4.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
listening.
So we're gonna just go right into our discussion, but before we do that, we can talk a little bit about the of the JAWA mentors. The reason why we thought it was...
Pearl, since you've been doing the Let's Plays for a while, what sort of inspired you to start out with that?
Well, first you need to understand where I come from.
When the JAWA movies was disbanded in the first place, I knew that a lot of people were disappointed. Disbanded.
Basically, you guys have both been in JAWA for a while now. I remember, Pearl, you were like apprentice, I think, when I joined JAWA like 5 years ago, which is pretty cool because you guys have both seen it.
The first experience I can remember with JAWA was before I actually applied. I entered the server under a different name other than what I joined with, and I was basically insulted for having this name that I had. So I left the server and renamed, and then I came back after I...
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I really like the show, and I like the special guests that they would have. I remember when Stephen Colbert was on there, and that was pretty funny. But,
Yes, Stephen Colbert, and let's not forget Robin Williams.
yeah.
Linked Robin Williams.
It's like an RPG game where you roleplay a character, either Sith Jedi or a villager. Sith try to kill the villagers, Jedi try to protect the villagers and find out who's Sith. The villagers try to knock down.
Villagers, you have one go. Don't die.
It's really fun though. Like, I mean, you play yourself. It's not like you're playing a separate character. So